The most popular place to go to for skiing or just to see and experience snow here on the North Island of New Zealand is Mount Ruapehu. But to make your expedition more fun and exciting, bring along with you your whole family and a big circle of friends. If you're coming from far away, say Auckland, which is around 5 hours of travel to Mount Ruapehu, going there will require you to book your accommodation. And to enjoy most of your time, it's best to have a look around or drop by the many mesmerizing tourist destinations around Taupo and Rotorua. So, let me bring you with us on our 3-day excursion from Auckland to Whakapapa Snow Ski Field in Mount Ruapehu. This trip was planned months ago. We considered cheap accommodation, the number of days of stay, and the number of people who would be going along. Friday, 6th August of 2021, we all met up at BP Papakura gas station around 8 in the morning while others brought some goodies to share. You could tell we asked for a day off on that Friday, right? When everyone's present, a convoy was not ideal as there were too many of us, more than 10 vehicles. So we just took the address of our first stop, set our GPS, and off we went. Since this is a group of Christian people, one of our brothers requested to visit the grave of Tarore near Matamata. She was a child prodigy who would recite portions of the gospel to a big crowd at the age of 10. Her ability to memorize much of the book was greatly admired, but she was murdered at a young age. The Maori law required revenge for her death, but during the funeral, her father spoke for forgiveness and encouraged the tribe to let God do that. Hence, she was considered a Christian martyr whose story is treasured by the New Zealand Church. It was quite a tricky place to find that we had to ask the people around for the exact location. And the weather was not that good too, so I didn't hop out of the car to have a look. Although the organizer had already listed the places we intended to visit in order with the estimated time of arrival, things could change from time to time and we were flexible with that. So the next stop was Redwoods Whakarewarewa Forest in Rotorua. This national forest is most well known for the network of superb mountain biking and walking tracks and for the magnificent stand of Californian coast redwoods. We took shelter under those towering trees to have our lunch. By the way, it was free to have a picnic there with the family and friends, and even to go around for walking and biking. If you want to experience the majestic and magical Redwoods tree walk, where you walk across eco-suspended bridges and platforms, you'd have to book a ticket of around $35 per adult or $99 per family. Check out their website for more information. The third stop on the first day was the Spa Thermal Park, and we enjoyed the natural hot spring for free in Taupo. Kids for sure didn't mind the cold weather when the water was so clear and steamingly warm. After a cozy submersion in the hot spring, we went for groceries and pack and save Taupo. We also had our quick shop in our favorite Asian store there because we used to live in Taupo for 6 years before moving to Auckland. So it was really good to visit and reminisce our memories of the place. It was already late in the afternoon on Friday after we finished shopping, so after that, we went straight to our booked accommodation at Mi Camp near Torangi, which was 32 minutes drive from Taupo Town Centre. Since we are a big group, around 50 adults and kids altogether, we have chosen Mi Camp to stay in for 2 nights. That Friday and the following day, after our trip to Mount Ruapehu, Mi Camp offers perfect accommodation for us with its great facilities. The couple stayed together in 2 big cabins with many rooms, another cabins for single males. Well, they're technically married but living as singles here in New Zealand as their families were still in the Philippines. And another cabin for teenagers and young kids so they learn to get along with each other. Each cabin has a lounge and kitchenette and more than 1 toilet and shower, so it's really convenient. There was also a drop coin washing machine and dryer where you can do your laundry too when needed. As a group, we worked hand in hand to cook and prepare food in the main kitchen. Heaps of thanks to the gentlemen and the fathers of every home for making yummy and healthy food. The wives normally just waited. Assisted their husbands too, especially in the cleanup. The kids, of course, were the main eater, but it was considered a service to each other. We shared what we had and had our meals together in the common area. Since it's a Christian group, a prayer is expected before meals and a Bible study after. And after that, we quickly planned for the next day, the trip to the snow. Those who haven't gone there yet were intensely excited, kids and adults alike. Oh, by the way, Wi-Fi was also available for free, so you won't really feel like you're in the middle of the wilderness, as we could still keep in touch with our loved ones and friends who weren't there with us. But the internet connection wasn't stable enough though. Me Camp offers a very competitive price of $40 per head per night. There's no accommodation yet near Mount Ruapehu that offers that so far. So the main event took place on Saturday morning. Some of us woke up around 4 or 5 in the morning to prepare breakfast. The rest got up early around 6 to enjoy the meal and get ready for another hour of drive. We carpooled as much as possible so that there'd be few cars traveling up to the snowy and slippery mountain. Considering the few spots for parking up there, we had to move quickly and be early, So off we went by 7 and stopped at the Chatu Tongariro Hotel to have a picture taking. This famous hotel in Tongariro National Park was completed in 1929 for the purpose of encouraging more tourists to the newly formed park by that time. But it became an asylum in 1942 when the number of tourists declined during the World War II and earthquakes damaged a psychiatric institution in Wellington. In late 1945, Ruapehu erupted for over a 10-month period, and so the patients were evacuated to Auckland. After the war, in August 1948, Chatu Tongariro reopened to provide accommodations for increasing number of visitors. The Whakapapa ski field was developed with the installation of ski tows, chair lifts, and new facilities. In July 2014, when I first came up here with my buddy, everything was free. Well, except for the meals we purchased from the shops. Sledding and skiing were free when you brought your own gears. You can walk around the vast snow in the area, and we even captured a photo of small icy waterfall. We had tried the chairlifts in December 2015 when my parents came to visit us, so we brought them up here too to experience the snow.
Ice.
The chairlifts at that time were completely open and a bit scary, like when you ride in a Ferris wheel, but now it's cozier and safer. That's probably why you have to pay now around $45 or more to experience the ride. We dropped by the Chatu Tongariro Hotel just to take photos. We didn't stay long as it was wet and windy. How we wish we could go inside, but it seemed very expensive. We didn't inquire anyway. We drove up just passing the eyesight and we saw our convoy coming back so quickly. They were told to book online, so we went back to the parking area and did one booking for each vehicle with the help of one employee. That was easy. So we've been coming up here for more than a couple of times already, but this is the first time I let my 2 kids experience skiing with rental gears. We didn't really come up here ready. Plus the gears are very expensive to buy if you're not actually skiing most of the time. It's just a waste of money to buy one for yourself, right? So we rented just for them, thinking it shouldn't be that much. But I was mistaken. I'm really fuzzy when it comes to spending, but we were already in the checkout after a long wait in the queue, so might as well just pay for it. Just this once, as they are first and last skiing. Not really the first time for my daughter though. They had a school trip before when she was at Lake Taupo Christian School. Well, anyway, I thought they could try it again some other years with their own money. But this time it's my treat to them.
How did it go? Oh, you need to have that pad. Didn't even take that long.
As expected, it was really cold, of course, but it would have been lovely to walk around if it wasn't raining that time. Plus, it was windy too. So most of us were plainly snuggling on the seats inside the cafe with hot fries and coffee. Around 1:30 in the afternoon, we drove down the mountain for about 41 minutes and treated ourselves at Tukanu thermal pools. There was also a very good 15-minute thermal walk just next to the pool site. After a lot of big splashes on each other while the others were keeping an eye on their little tubbies, we went down to town to shop for dinner, then went back to our accommodation. That night, kids were having fun games while adults were busy preparing the meals. Of course, mealtime was served, and it was tastier when you eat together. As usual, our Bible study followed after the cleanup. Bedtime was always 10 p.m. Earlier was better, so we'll have enough rest for a long travel again the following day, the last day of the trip. That was Sunday. It's gonna be a long one too, as we plan to visit many other free sites along the way. Sunday morning wasn't easy because we had to leave Mikak as clean as we first arrived on our first night. Each one was responsible enough to clean up their own rooms and then their entire cabins. The others did the kitchen in the main area. We ensured everything had been followed as written in the set of instructions. This is the price we had to pay for choosing a cheap site, but it was all worth it. You had privacy. The whole big campsite was just to ourselves, and we didn't mind cleaning anyway. As the saying goes, in unity there is strength, so we were able to finish the cleanup as early as 7 a.m. We stood by outside and took some more photos while those with the younger kids were still busy tending their flocks. I know how hard it is. I'm thankful I went past that stage now, with my teenage kids who are able to look after themselves now. On Sunday morning, we all drove to Taupo Town Center where the I Love Taupo was situated for a family and group photo. This iconic sign by the lake was built sometime in 2017, I think. There were other small groups of people waiting for their turns too. We were kind enough to let them have their photos first as there were so many of us. When it was done, the next destination was the Hookah Falls. It's actually a set of waterfalls that drains the water from the lake down to the Waikato River. This is also one of the iconic scenery in Taupo, and there are many platforms where you can have a better view of the waterfalls. One is about 5 to 7 minutes from the town center and it is free. But during summer season, it's quite challenging to find a parking space in the area because of too many local and foreign tourists roaming around and visiting the place. There are many other tourist spots in Taupo to have a look at if you're a bit on budget, like the Ruapehu Botanical Garden, which is on high ground overlooking the lake. It's more beautiful to see in springtime when flowers are blooming. Hookah Honey Hive is also a good place to explore, especially if you want to purchase the pure honey from their shop and many other honey products. It was cool for kids to see, as well as for adults, those bees working in their hive. If you have extra money to spend, maybe 1 week stay in Taupo would be enough to explore all other activities like bungee jumping, cruising in the lake, parasailing, going to a chocolate factory, pampering yourself for a beauty and massage and spa at Wairake Terraces, or in the mud pools, prawn fishing, or taking a ride in Hookah Jet, which is just next to it, bringing the kids to Lilliput Animal Park, and many others. But for our group, we just kept these as we didn't have enough time and money to explore everything. So after the Hookah Falls viewing, we went straight to Aratiatia Dam, 10 to 15 minutes from Hookah Falls. When we got there, we went through a 5-minute walkway to a viewing platform to have a better look at the opening of the dam. During summer, there are 4 release hours, 10, 12, 2, and 4 p.m. While in winter, there are only 3, 10 a.m., 12 p.m., and 2 p.m. We got there just before 10 a.m., so we've witnessed the release of a massive amount of water down the river. Just for some facts, a few years back, there were already incidents of deaths of tourists who happened to be in the wrong place when the dam was open. That's why now it's stricter and people are only allowed to stay on these safe viewing platforms. For our last destination, before heading home, we traveled back to Rotorua, 45 minutes away from Taupo. Rotorua is another famous city in Waikato with so many tourist spots to have a look at. If you're keen, maybe you can also spend another week enjoying all the different activities you could do there. But our group just went to visit and experience a mind-blowing 3D trick art gallery. Unlike the other usual art museum, here you can touch and interact with dozens of 3D artworks, immersing yourself in the fun. So if you're looking for something unique to do with the kids and introduce them to some spectacular art, then 3D trick art is the perfect place to visit and spend time with your family and friends in. However, this one is not free though, and booking is essential, especially for a big group. So that's our 3-day journey to the snowy mountain. For the group, it was really fun, not only because of the mesmerizing, beautiful sceneries of New Zealand, but also because of the camaraderie we have as a team. So while we were heading off to Auckland, we continuously chatted with each other in our group chat, planning where our next trip will be. Maybe Queenstown?